So here's my conclusion. I guess I only have a couple of minutes, just 1 minute, and to conclude my talk. We believe cloud actually indeed present us some new security challenge and also some new security opportunity. Right? For example, the side channel and the API integration. It won't be a big issue if we don't consider the special feature of the cloud, right? Just the software as service and deliver software and from the cloud to your browser. And that's the reason, and we can make this information leak and so and the API integration problem and happen. And on the other hand, the cloud provides us some new opportunity, and because the example I give here. Secure DNA, just an alignment, right? If you consider if we're working on a single machine, right? Just you cannot solve this problem, right? If in a conventional platform, if you don't take advantage of special feature of the cloud, its capability of handle a large amount of data in a very efficient way, and you cannot come up with a good solution for this problem. So we believe cloud indeed give us, presented to us a new security problem and new just a research and development opportunity. The most important things here is we need to understand the unique feature of the cloud and the people's demand for cloud service. In the end, security privacy is just kind of service. You have to, just work with those the expert in different area to provide the security service and they need, right? And only in this way, and we find out new interesting problem. And just to come up new technique to make the whole things forward. Okay, that's all my talk.
Thank you.
Sorry, just it's a little bit. Go ahead.
I think that security in cloud is really important, and I was curious to know in your work. How do you determine what data is sensitive or not to ship to the public or private clouds?
Okay, so you're talking about just when. Okay, so are you talking about just and when you are doing secure computation and given a data set, how do you know which part of data is public, which part of data is sensitive? Is that right?
What part is sensitive, and what part would be
public to a different part of the cloud, right? In the particular example, which is quite straightforward, and the data itself without before encryption, obviously it's sensitive. It's genomic data. It contains a lot of information, right? But once you encrypt it, just we think it's become just public. Then we are safe to give it to the cloud. At least today, if you have encrypted data, even sensitive data, you go to cloud, just NIH will not jump up and down, right? But if you have the raw data given to the cloud, there will be upside. And just in the other work, another piece of work I don't have time to cover. I'm talking about how to separate the computation when the data is a mixture of public and private data. In that case, we require human or you can come up with an automatic tool to label the data and identify which part is public and which part is sensitive. So and once you have this label and you give it to the cloud, it can automatically separate the computation and allocate the computation. Okay.
Are there any more questions? Yes.
So at the beginning of the presentation, you demonstrated how easy it is to guess what users entering into the Ajax ultimately field for Google Medical application. So I guess you're trying to demonstrate how easy it is to guess it, but how realistic is it that we have to actually do something about it?
Just and the only assumption we made here is eavesdropping, network eavesdropping. If you can eavesdrop this guy's communication channel, you can do that. It is very realistic. It's realistic because the experiment I showed you is realistic things. It's not staged. And we're looking at all this traffic, and then we figure out all the content you put there, right? And there could be a debate on how realistic to eavesdrop someone on the network channel, right? But it's clearly something people worry about because the whole thing is just like SSL, just HTTPS is designed to defend against this attack.
But what I'm asking is, 90%
Okay.
I have to do all.
Just and the vulnerability I demonstrated just for in this particular just for Google Health, and your other system could have this problem, but a different application will leak out. Oh, sorry, but different application, just they could leak out different amount of information, right? It's a case by case situation. Maybe the things you are using is pretty safe, and I can figure out some information, but it may not be a big deal. For example, if you use Gmail, right? I don't think it will be difficult for me to figure out if you are receiving email or you are sending email. But this is in many cases not a big deal, right? Because just all you care about is content of your email, right? So it's case by case. And in this particular case, in the example I gave, I present, it become a real big issue because people can figure out the content of data. But in other case, it may not be that easy. But the most important thing here is when you develop this piece of program, and you need to understand and what kind of information that can leak out. Maybe it's something really important, right? You cannot just develop it there and put it there until someone just like us to tell you actually you leak out your customers' information, which becomes a really big issue. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah, I think we need to move on, and thank XiaoFeng for his great talk. And you have to think twice before you use your cloud. Thank you.
Thank you.